My dear friends, time is the only thing in life that never comes back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But once a second is gone, it's gone forever. And yet, most of us treat time like it's unlimited. We waste hours scrolling, worrying, comparing, and regretting, and then wonder, why am I not winning in life? Start your day before it starts you. Because if you don't plan your day, the day will plan you. Most people wake up and the first thing they do is grab their phone, check messages, scroll social media, and suddenly they are reacting to the world before they've even said good morning to themselves. They allow the chaos of others to decide the direction of their peace. But my friends, the morning is sacred. It's the birthplace of clarity, focus, and energy. If you waste those first few moments, you spend the rest of the day trying to catch up with yourself. The greatest mistake we make is assuming that we'll figure it out as we go. But the truth is, life rewards the prepared. Think about it. A builder doesn't start construction without a blueprint. A pilot doesn't take off without a flight plan. And a champion doesn't enter the ring without a strategy. Then why do we step into our day without knowing what we want to achieve? The night before, sit down and design your next day. Write down the top 3 things that truly matter, not 10 things that make you look busy, but 3 things that make you feel fulfilled. When you wake up, you already know your direction. There's no confusion, no chaos, no wasted time deciding what to do next. You simply flow. You see, when you start your day with intention, your energy knows where to go. You walk into the morning not as a slave to time, but as its master. Even small rituals help. Waking up early, breathing deeply, expressing gratitude, maybe journaling or meditating. It's not about doing 100 things, it's about starting with the right things. Because how you begin the morning often determines how the entire day unfolds. Most people say they don't have time, but what they really mean is they don't have clarity, and clarity doesn't come from chaos, it comes from preparation. When you sleep knowing what tomorrow holds, you wake up with purpose, not pressure. And that simple act of preparation, that few minutes before bed, can turn ordinary days into extraordinary progress. So, start your day before it starts you. Own your mornings, and your life will follow. Kill the distractions before they kill your focus. Because distractions are not just stealing your time, they are stealing your life. Every time your attention gets pulled away, a piece of your potential goes with it. You may not notice it immediately, but over weeks, months, and years, those little moments of distraction build up into a mountain of lost opportunities. We often blame time for not being enough, but the truth is, we waste more time than we realize, just by being available to everything that doesn't matter. Think about it. The average person checks their phone over 100 times a day. Notifications, messages, emails, updates, pings, each one a tiny knock at the door of your mind. You think, I'll just check for a second. But that second becomes a minute, that minute becomes 15, and before you know it, an hour is gone, an hour that could have built your dream, improved your skill, or deepened your peace. And what did you gain? Nothing but more noise. Distractions are clever. They disguise themselves as important. They whisper, you might miss something. What if it's urgent? Just a quick reply. But what we're really missing is ourselves. We miss our own thoughts, our creative flow, our deep work, our inner calm. The mind that keeps getting interrupted never goes deep enough to create something meaningful. And without focus, there can be no mastery, no growth, no excellence. If you want to stop wasting time and start winning, you must protect your attention like it's treasure, because it is. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Keep your phone away when you're working. Schedule your screen time the way you schedule your meetings. Don't let social media become your escape from life. Let it be your reminder of what you could be doing with your life. Learn the discipline of silence, because in silence, productivity blooms. And understand this: every distraction you entertain is a message to your mind that says, "This is more important than my purpose." When you give that power away again and again, your focus weakens. But when you resist the temptation even once, you strengthen your willpower. Every time you say, "Not now," you reclaim a part of your mind. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters without interruption. You can achieve in 2 focused hours what most people can't achieve in a distracted day. That's how powerful pure attention is. If you can train yourself to stay with one task fully present, your life will start to feel lighter, faster, and more meaningful. And remember, distractions don't always come from outside. Sometimes they come from within. Your worries, your doubts, your overthinking. You can't always silence the noise around you, but you can calm the noise inside you. Meditation, journaling, deep breathing, these are not just spiritual tools, they are weapons against distraction. So today, take back control. Turn off what doesn't serve you. Create an environment that supports your focus, not sabotages it. The world doesn't need a busier version of you, it needs a present version of you. Because when your mind is undivided, your actions become unstoppable. And that, my friends, is how you stop wasting time and start truly winning. Stop saying, "I'll do it later," because later is the most dangerous word in the dictionary of success. It sounds harmless, even reasonable, doesn't it? "I'll do it later" feels like a small delay, a simple postponement. But in truth, it's a silent thief. It doesn't take your dreams all at once. It takes them little by little. Every time you say later, you are teaching your mind that your goals can wait, that your growth can wait, that your purpose can wait. And soon, later becomes never. Procrastination doesn't feel like a crime because it hides behind comfort. It whispers, "You're tired, rest a little." It says, "You have time, do it tomorrow." But that's how dreams die, not through failure, but through endless waiting. You see, action creates energy, but delay drains it. Every time you postpone what you know must be done, your confidence weakens. You begin to doubt yourself, and slowly you lose trust in your own word. Because deep down, you know, you promised yourself something, and you didn't keep it. It's easy to say, "I'll start when I feel ready." But the truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. You'll never have the perfect conditions, the perfect mood, or the perfect moment. Winners don't wait for the perfect time, they create it. Because progress doesn't come from motivation, it comes from movement. Once you start, motivation follows. The hardest step is always the first one. Think of the things you've delayed: learning that skill, fixing that relationship, starting that project, improving your health. Each later has cost you something: momentum, peace, clarity, opportunity. And the saddest part is, we think we're saving time by delaying, but in reality, we're spending double. We not only lose the time we postpone, we also carry the mental weight of unfinished tasks. That constant feeling of, "I still have to do it," quietly exhausts your mind. When you say, "I'll do it later," ask yourself, when is later? Tomorrow? Next week? When you feel ready? or when the regret becomes too heavy to carry, you'll find that later is a place that doesn't exist. It's a trick our mind plays to escape effort in the present moment. The truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Every delay builds resistance, and every small action breaks it. So don't wait to feel inspired. Act, and inspiration will find you. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. Move despite the fear, and you'll see it fade. Don't wait for confidence. Action creates confidence. Every time you choose to do something now, you are rewriting your future. You are telling your mind, I am in control. Even small steps count. Maybe you can't finish everything today, but you can begin. And beginning changes everything. It builds momentum. It builds belief. It creates the energy that pulls you forward. Because consistency beats perfection. Showing up daily, even imperfectly, will take you farther than waiting endlessly for the right moment. The truth is, later is comfortable, but no is powerful. Every great invention, every transformation, every breakthrough began because someone decided not to wait. So next time your mind says, I'll do it later, smile and say, no, I'll do it now. Because someday you'll look back and thank yourself, not for the things you planned to do, but for the things you actually did. Stop saying, I'll do it later. Say, I'll start now. Because your dreams are waiting for your courage, not your excuses. Use time, don't just spend it. Because there's a huge difference between being busy and being productive, between being occupied and being fulfilled. Many people spend their whole day doing things, working, talking, scrolling, running around. Yet at night, they lie in bed feeling empty, wondering, where did my time go? It's because they spent time, but they didn't use it. To spend time means to let it pass. To use time means to invest it, to put it into something that grows, that nourishes, that returns value to your life. Time is like money, my friends. If you spend all your money on unnecessary things, you end up broke. If you invest it wisely, it multiplies. The same rule applies to time. When you spend it mindlessly, in gossip, comparison, distraction, or meaningless work, you get nothing in return. But when you use it wisely, in learning, creating, reflecting, and connecting, your life expands. You begin to feel richer, not in things, but in purpose. Ask yourself each day, am I spending my time or am I using it? Every hour is like a seed. Some people plant theirs in fertile soil. They water it with focus. They nourish it with discipline. And one day they harvest success. Others throw their seeds on barren ground, scrolling through negativity, chasing other people's approval, or doing things just to pass the time. And then they wonder why their life doesn't bloom. Using your time means being intentional. It means asking, why am I doing this? Before saying yes to something. It means realizing that time wasted is not just lost hours. It's lost opportunities, lost memories, lost growth. Every moment spent without meaning takes you a step further from the life you could be living. But using time doesn't mean you have to be working all the time. It means whatever you do it fully. If you rest completely. If you work with focus. If you talk to someone, be fully present. Because presence is what turns time into value. When your mind is scattered, even your most precious moments slip away unnoticed. But when you are as here, truly here, every minute becomes meaningful. People often say, I don't have time. But in truth, time isn't the problem. Our attention is. You might have 12 hours, but if your attention is divided into 20 pieces, you don't live any of them deeply. The art of using time is the art of being Where you are, it's choosing to give your full self to one thing instead of half yourself to 10 things. Think of the greatest people in any field: scientists, artists, teachers, leaders. They didn't have more time than you or me. They just used it differently. They used their hours to build something that outlived them. They understood that every moment of focus compounds into mastery. Every hour of deep work becomes a building block of greatness. And when you start using your time wisely, you start feeling lighter. Because wasted time weighs on your heart. You carry the guilt of unfinished work, unspoken words, unchased dreams. But when you use your time, even imperfectly, that guilt turns into gratitude. You feel alive, aligned, and proud, not because you did everything, but because you lived intentionally. So stop chasing busy. Stop glorifying exhaustion. The goal isn't to fill every minute, it's to fulfill every minute. Don't spend your time just existing. Use it to become, to grow, to love, to learn, to contribute. Because one day when you look back, you'll realize life wasn't measured by how much time you had, but by how deeply you used the time you were given. Learn to say no with love. Because every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something deeply meaningful. Most of us struggle with this word, a no, not because we don't know what we want, but because we're afraid of how people will feel. When we set boundaries, we want to be kind, we want to be liked, we want to avoid conflict. So we keep saying yes again and again until our minds are exhausted, our schedules are full, and our hearts are empty. But saying yes to everything is not kindness, it's confusion. It's a slow erosion of your priorities, your energy, and your peace. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and yet so many of us keep pouring. We say yes to favors we don't have time for, to conversations that drain us, to commitments that don't align with our purpose. We do it out of guilt, fear, or habit, but in the process, we lose the ability to focus on what truly matters. There's a difference between being selfless and being careless with your time. True compassion doesn't mean giving away your energy to everything and everyone. It means protecting it so that you can give your best where it truly counts. If you don't guard your time, someone else will use it for their priorities. You must learn that saying no doesn't make you rude, it makes you real. No doesn't have to come from anger. It can come from peace, from clarity, from self-respect. You can say no gently, without guilt, without explanation, and still remain kind. You can say, I would love to help, but I can't right now. You can say, this doesn't align with what I'm focusing on at the moment. You can say, thank you for thinking of me, but I need to prioritize something else. When spoken with sincerity, a no can be an act of honesty, not rejection. Every yes carries a cost. You pay for it with your time, your focus, your energy. So before you agree to something, ask yourself, is this the best use of my life at this moment? Will this make me grow, or will it make me shrink? Because time spent pleasing everyone is time stolen from your dreams. You can't climb your mountain if you're busy carrying everyone else's luggage. Many people will not understand when you start saying no. They might call you selfish or distant, but that's okay. People who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. And those who don't, they were never interested in you. They were interested in your availability. Saying no is not about closing your heart. It's about directing your energy. It's about realizing that you cannot do everything, and you don't have to. You are not here to please the world. You are here to fulfill your purpose. When you protect your time, you create space for creativity, rest, and genuine connection. You give yourself the chance to grow into your best version. And when you do, everyone around you benefits too. The irony is that when you say no to things that don't matter, your yes becomes more powerful. It gains meaning. When you agree to something, people know you mean it. They feel your full presence. Your time and attention become a gift, not a default. Learning to say no is one of the most loving things you can do for yourself and for others. It's not rejection, it's direction. It's saying yes to clarity, to peace, to focus, to purpose. So next time you feel that familiar pressure to agree, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask your heart, is this helping me grow or is this draining me? And then with grace and love, say no. Not because you don't care, but because you finally do. Surround yourself with the focused ones. Because the people you spend time with are not just part of your environment. They become part of your mindset. Your energy doesn't just live inside you, it absorbs, reflects, and mirrors the energy around you. If you spend time with distracted people, you'll find your focus fading. If you spend time with complainers, you'll start finding problems instead of solutions. But when you surround yourself with focused, driven, and peaceful people, something incredible happens. Your own mind starts to rise to their level. We often underestimate how much influence others have over our direction. You don't just learn habits from people, you catch their attitudes, their mindset, their language. If you sit with people who talk about ideas, you begin to think creatively. If you sit with those who talk about people, you begin to gossip. It's subtle but powerful. Your environment either fuels your fire or slowly puts it out. You can't stay motivated if you're surrounded by mediocrity. You can't dream big if everyone around you is afraid to take a risk. You can't stay disciplined if the people closest to you keep choosing comfort. The truth is, your company can either be your anchor or your wings. Some people will lift you higher just by being around them. Others will drain you without even realizing it. That's why it's not enough to just work on your goals. You must also curate your circle. Look around you. Who are the people you spend the most time with? Do they make you want to grow, to learn, to become better? Or do they keep you stuck in old habits? Because you can't climb mountains if your circle keeps pulling you back to the ground. Growth requires courage, and courage is easier to sustain when you're surrounded by those who believe in growth too. Being around focused people doesn't mean they're serious all the time. It means they live with purpose. They laugh deeply. They rest intentionally, and they move forward with direction. Their presence itself feels like clarity. You can see it in the way they talk. They don't complain about how hard life is. They discuss how they can improve it. They don't waste hours comparing themselves. They use that time to learn and progress. And being around such people changes you without even trying. You start setting higher standards for yourself. You start being mindful of your habits. You start valuing time the way they do, not as something to kill, but something to honor. You begin to realize that success is not just about what you do, but who you do it around. Sometimes, growth means letting go of people who no longer align with your direction. It's painful because you may love them deeply. But love doesn't mean staying stuck. You can love someone and still recognize that their energy no longer matches your purpose. You can care for them from a distance while choosing to protect your focus. Because staying around the wrong people doesn't just cost you peace, it costs you potential. Seek out those who inspire you. Be with people who remind you of your worth, who challenge your excuses, who encourage your discipline. People who will call you out when you're wasting time, but lift you up when you fall. These are the people who sharpen you, who shape you. Like iron sharpens iron, strong company strengthens your soul. And remember, it's not only about who you're around, it's also about who you become for others. Be that focused person in someone else's circle. Be the friend who motivates, not drains. Be the listener who uplifts, not discourages, because energy spreads both ways. When you grow, you unconsciously give others permission to grow too. So, surround yourself with the focused ones, not the perfect ones, but the purposeful ones. The ones who are chasing something meaningful, who are striving to become better each day. Their habits will rub off on you, their mindset will shape yours, their fire will ignite your own. Because in the end, you don't just become what you believe, you become who you're around. And when your circle is strong, your focus becomes unbreakable. Turn waiting time into growing time. Because life will always make you wait. You'll wait in lines, in traffic, in hospitals, in airports. You'll wait for opportunities, for people, for answers, for healing. Waiting is inevitable. But wasting that waiting is a choice. Most people spend that time complaining, scrolling, or simply feeling frustrated that nothing is happening. But wise people know life doesn't stop while you wait. It's still giving you moments, still offering lessons, still testing your patience. And if you learn how to use that in between time, it can become one of the most powerful seasons of your growth. You see, the world has trained us to believe that progress only happens when we're actively moving. But some of the greatest transformations happen when we seem to be standing still. A seed doesn't grow the moment it's planted. It needs time in the dark. The same is true for you. Waiting doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means something deeper is forming within you. Maybe strength, maybe clarity, maybe direction. But it's growing quietly away from sight. Yet, instead of embracing this season, most of us waste it. We fill it with noise because silence feels uncomfortable. We distract ourselves because stillness feels unproductive. We scroll, we complain, we wish time away. And in doing so, we miss the very lessons that waiting was meant to teach. Imagine if every time you waited, you grew instead. When you're in traffic, you could listen to a podcast that feeds your mind. When you're waiting in a queue, you could read a few pages of a book that expands your thinking. When you're waiting for an opportunity, you could prepare your skills so that when the door finally opens, you're ready to walk through it with confidence. The waiting time that most people waste could become the foundation of your success. Because here's the truth. Life doesn't reward those who move the fastest. It rewards those who keep learning even when nothing seems to be happening. Growth isn't only about movement, it's about mindset. You might be standing still physically, but you can keep growing mentally and spiritually. Waiting also reveals your relationship with control. We want everything on our timeline, now, soon, immediately. But the universe works differently. It teaches you patience because patience builds depth. When you can wait without losing focus, when you can pause without losing purpose, that's when you truly master time. Because impatience creates anxiety, but patience creates peace. If you look closely, some of the most successful people in the world didn't become great overnight. They spent years in the waiting, learning, improving, failing, and preparing. Their waiting was never wasted. They didn't treat it as an interruption, they treated it as training. They use the quiet seasons to sharpen their tools, strengthen their mindset, and build their foundation. The waiting season is not a punishment, it's preparation. Every delay carries a lesson. Every pause is an invitation to reflect. Maybe it's teaching you trust. Maybe it's shaping your discipline. Maybe it's redirecting you towards something better. But only those who stay awake in the waiting will see the beauty behind it. So, next time life makes you wait, don't curse the delay. Use it, breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what can I learn right now? What can I improve? How can I grow while I wait? Because even 5 minutes of growth is better than 5 minutes of frustration. Remember, time will pass anyway, whether you use it or not. The difference lies in what you become during that passing. You can spend it numbing your boredom, or you can invest it in becoming wiser, stronger, and more prepared. One choice wastes time, the other transforms it. Turn your waiting into growing. Let every pause polish you, every delay develop you, every silence strengthen you. Because life isn't about rushing from one moment to another. It's about using every moment, even the waiting ones, to become the person you were meant to be.